Show is provided by the Cohen Parole Law Firm. For almost 40 years, Gary Cohen has helped represent incarcerated individuals throughout Texas obtain parole and fight parole revocations. We protect those who have fallen short of perfection from the wrath of those who believe they have attained it. For more information about Gary Cohen and his associates, Alan Bennett and Gene Anthis, you can find it at the website, parolelaw.com. You may also contact them at 512-476-6201.
Listeners should be aware that the following program contains language and audio images which may be found disturbing and may not be suitable for your snotty-nosed little brat who probably cusses like a sailor behind your back anyway. Parental discretion is advised.
Daddy, I'm coming to see you at visiting hours next week. Mama ain't been doing too well, I'll tell you more when we speak. And Billy's loving high school. He's out there blocking for JV. I'm sure he's gonna come around by the time you get released. It's Friday night, the inmates go quiet. Listen for a voice they know.
It's time to holler down the pipe chase and rattle them bars, because we're going to do a prison show for you right here at beautiful old, historic old, exciting new KPFT Houston, from the heart of Montrose, where we all hope tomorrow will be a better day.
Dreams, I can see your freedom. I will hold you once more. To men with no visitors, no money on the books. Remember, David's always gonna be here. You're never so alone. This thing's my love. It's Friday night, the inmates go quiet. Listen for a voice they know. It's prison radio. Prison radio.
And welcome to the Prison Show. Tonight is Friday, April the 25th. We've had a rough week, and my God, I sound loud. Let me back up a little bit. We've had a rough week, but tonight we have a treat for everyone out there. Some folks in restrictive housing got together and wrote some lyrics, and our wonderful Brittany Robertson got some of her people to do a song. Evolution is the name of the song. It is performed by Sunstone and produced by Cinema Beats. We will be playing that later on in the show, so make sure you tune in to Brittany Robertson's piece, which is going to be, and you see I have too many areas of my phone opened, and let me tell you when Brittany's going to be on. Brittany will be on a little bit towards the end of the show, probably around 9:35. Probably around then. So make sure everyone listens to the show. We got a great show lined up. Actually, David has a great show lined up. Even though he had surgery on Monday, he is out, and unfortunately Miss Linda is out. So we are surviving with me, Javier, yay Javier, and Leslie. Leslie will be answering the phones. So yeah, whoop whoop. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed, hope for the best, and hope that David will leave me alone with Javier and Leslie once again. But tonight, Chivas is going to be on, He is with In Mass Incarceration Houston and Working Groups 512. Dani Sneed is in the house. He's in the other room, but he is the encourager, the prison show veteran reporter. Like I said, Brittany Robertson will be on. She is Director of Incarcerated Support Ad-Seg Specialist with TPCA and Texas Prison Reform Activists. Alli Sullivan is also going to be on with Death Penalty Action and JoinJeremy. So we had an eventful, the cops wouldn't let us protest at Mr. Mendoza's execution on Wednesday in the area that we usually are at. So there will be more to come on that. But let's get going with Chivas on line 1. Hi, Chivas.
Peace and blessings, Miss Dani. How you doing this evening? It's been a while. As I always say to our international community and listeners, peace and blessings. I am Chivas Watson, your in-mass incarceration Houston reporter. We're going to title this segment, We Speak Your Name, From Houston to the World. Again, good evening, family. This is your in-mass incarceration reporter live on KPFT 90.1 FM. And each time I come to this mic, it is not just as a voice, but as a vessel, carrying truth, names, and movements too often buried by the system. I speak with purpose, with fire, and with love for every person locked in tonight who needs the world to remember you are not forgotten. We are not just reporting. We are amplifying. We are demanding. And we are building power. Let's talk Houston. Right now, the Harris County Jail is once again over capacity, packed with people who may even have a chance to not be convicted but can't afford bail. Can I get an amen? Houston Police Department continues to delay releasing body cam footage. Transparency? Still missing. No matter the mayor. Accountability? Still demanded. No matter the new district attorney. And in the case of Ronald Phillips, new DNA evidence could finally turn the tide after 18 years. But why does freedom always move so slow? It's not just local. It's systemic. The DOJ just exposed civil rights violations in 5 major U.S. prisons, and Texas prisons deserve the same scrutiny. But even under pressure, the people rise. And tonight, we speak your names with honor. Darius Elam. Houston and Chicago stand with you and your family. Jeremy Busby. Your International Innocence campaign continues to break through. Ruben Gutierrez in Huntsville. Your fight is sacred. Roderick Reed and the Reed Justice Initiative. Bastrop hears you. Huntsville hears you. We all hear you. Free Rodney Reed. Melissa Lucio. We say your name until you're home in Cameron County. Juan Sanchez in the habeas corpus campaign in Bexar County. Keep pushing. Devin Anderson in the Michaels unit. Young brother, keep your head up. Malik Jakovich in the All-Red unit. Smoke, keep your head up. Keep pushing, brother. Javier Quintero in the Robertson unit. This is your shout-out, brother. Remember, me and your mom love you. Edgar Garcia, no longer on federal death row. That shift matters. Michelle Berrientes Vela in the San Antonio, Justice for Michelle Berrientes Vela campaign in San Antonio. Justice must be fair, even for former officers. Congratulations on your exoneration, Michelle. To the Cousins by Blood podcast team and everyone who believed in Ivan Cantu. Rest in peace, Ivan. We carry your name forward. And to the Carmelo Anthony for Self-Defense Network across the DFW and beyond. Keep fighting for the right to survive and defend yourself. To the powerful, resilient women locked up in Gatesville and Mountain View unit. Sisters, your strength radiates beyond the walls. And I'm praying for the supporters, specifically our friend Kimber, for the loss of Moises Mendoza. This week, Forbes published a piece by Natalie Madera Cofield titled From Incarceration to Incorporation. She made it plain. Giving people second chances isn't just the moral thing. It's the smart thing. We lose $87 billion every year by shutting out formerly incarcerated people from jobs, housing, and ownership. That's money our communities could be building with. But too often, the system lets the sentence follow them for life. We need second chances that come with opportunity, not just paperwork. April is Second Chance Month, and I'm happy to be closing it out on the Prison Show. Now let's talk about the judges. Nationwide, and in Texas especially, we're seeing family courts destroy lives through drawn-out cases, bias, and unchecked power. That's why we're watching the passage of the Time-Taken Time Bill, Texas Family Court 157.168. This bill demands judicial oversight, case deadlines, judicial accountability. No more invisible gavel damage. Justice must be transparent or it's not justice at all. In this Texas legislative session, two major bills need your voice. House Bill 3006 by Rep. Terry Canales and House Bill 5639 by Rep. Josie Garcia of San Antonio, both backed by Texas Prisons Community Advocates, TPCA. These bills fight for prison reform, rehabilitation, and family reunification. I hope somebody's listening. If you're in Sweden, I hope you're listening. We're also supporting the new Evan Lee bill, Texas House Bill 2668, and we would love your support with all of these bills. Please call and email your following committee members, your senator offices, to help strengthen the bill. Let them know you're in support of these bills. These bills are made public. Please read them. If not, chaos will continue within the Texas prisons. This last bill will protect medically disturbed inmates across Texas. Texans, this is your moment. Call your House members, call your senators, submit public comments, share the bills, and be heard. And while we fight for justice, we're also building solutions. Working Group 512 is fiercely out here in Texas, across Texas, running a free ACA health insurance program through the health insurance marketplace. If Michael Ferguson in Houston is listening, welcome home again, brother. We were glad to get you connected to health insurance, a free cell phone with free mobile service. We're also operating our statewide Lifeline program, giving out free phones with free mobile service. What other organizations would love to become a referral partner? We're also running a solar energy program, connecting families to clean, sustainable energy. We're also operating a wireless service project, bringing high-speed internet to homes through Spectrum, AT&T, Xfinity, and more. We're the only agency providing free COVID and influenza testing in the state. Let us help you. The retail pharmacies are charging $35 for tests. Hospitals are denying people free tests. Join us and become a testing collector today. We are hiring in Abilene, Austin, Dallas, Grand Prairie, San Antonio, Harlingen, Brownsville, Edinburgh, McAllen, Houston, Odessa, Midland, in El Paso. Give us a call if you're interested. If a mom is listening, a dad is listening, and your son or your daughter are exiting the walls and needing a boost up, please call 512-953-3980. You can also reach us at 817-307-2267. You can also reach us at 210-665-5013. You can also reach us at 832-598-1347. Ms. Dani, I hope you got those numbers. You can also email workinggroup512@gmail.com. Get connected, get support, get what's yours. This is Second Chance Month. All of our opportunities are second chance opportunities. So to every person inside, to every family standing firm, to every organizer burning bright, we see you. We speak your name. We hold your story. and we're not letting go. This is KPFT 90.1 FM. I'm your end mass incarceration reporter, and this is what justice sounds like. Until next time, stay sharp, stay safe, and stay human. My last update. If you are using ChatGPT, please use the Natural Law Navigator, number 916-545-7621, and gain some great legal education. Do some great, profound legal research. From Abilene to Amarillo, from El Paso to San Antonio, from Del Rio to Freeport, from Galveston to Huntsville, from Hutchins to Arlington, from Denton to Wichita Falls, from Tyler back to Dallas. I'm Chivas Watson, your in-mass incarceration reporter, asking those that are litigators, those that take a constitutional oath in this state, to let us be free, to do the research of innocent claims within TDCJ, to watch the prison show and embrace this advocacy across the state that champions the issues, that amplifies the issues. And if you're listening tonight, please donate to the prison show. Please donate to KPFT 90.1 FM. Again, we are not just reporting, we are amplifying the issues. Ms. Dani, thank you so much. David, I hope you're feeling better, man. We pray for your recovery. Ms. Linda, I hope you're safe. Leslie, thank you for standing up for us. The rest of the team, thank you for being there. Dani, you're going to do great. Waiting for Brittany's segment. Again, I'm Chivas Watson, your in-mass incarceration Houston reporter, the executive director and founder of Working Group 512, signing out. Thank you all again.
Thank you, Chivas. All right, like I was saying, we have just a minute that I wanted to cover something really quickly. This week, like I said earlier, they stopped us from protesting Mr. Mendoza's execution at the location that we typically protest. They came out with OIG, with guns, with handcuffs, the whole bit. And Joy, me, Gloria, several people with death penalty action, we were all there. And we stood our ground, and of course we moved. We moved. We stood for a second until the handcuffs came out. Then we moved. But what Joy and I did, Joy and I went to the board meeting yesterday, and we talked to the head guy Lance Coleman. Actually, we spoke to a few people, and hopefully we have opened up a line of communications. He was good. He was, he listened to our concerns. He listened to the fact that, our intentions is not to block the streets. But, the people on the other side blocked that street. So we made, I think, a successful argument, but we will see. We shall see. But I wanted to give a shout out to the people that showed up at the board meeting. I know a lot of advocates cannot do that because of work schedules. I managed to just take off. But Brittany, thank you. Brittany flew from Wisconsin to the board meeting. She flew for the board meeting. So we had her, we had Ashlyn, we had me and Joy. There were quite a few people. There was mamas who lost their sons inside. It was very emotionally packed. Even though we didn't have a lot of people there, it was still emotionally packed. So shout out to everyone. And now shout out to our veteran reporter, the encourager, Dani Sneed, right here in the house. How you doing, Dani?
Man, I'm doing great.
I don't think your mic's on.
Microphone check.
Check. Now
Check.
you're checking.
Check microphone check. I ain't tell you I used to rap.
Ooh.
So first I got to give a shout out to my brother from another mother just listening with his leg propped up, full of them Tylenol 3s or 4s right now. We love you, David. And, man, we miss you. I pull up, and I didn't see that big old Harley. He drive a Harley, don't he?
Oh, yeah. A few of them, because he's been through a few.
Yeah. I didn't see that big old Harley parked outside. I said, man, is it Friday? I thought maybe we just picked the wrong day.
Well, the way you looked when you came in, you were.
But, you know, man, David is amazing. I just read an article they did on David. You know, David's amazing, guys. Hey, David is a living example of how you can turn lemons into lemonade. Mm-hmm. It goes to show that no matter how many times we go into prison, no how long we stay stuck in our addiction, that there's hope. In the recovery rooms, which is where I found the message of recovery, and which really turned my life around after going to TDC 3 times, Beto 1 from 89 to 91, and then from 92 to 2001, I was on Burning Hell, right around the corner in Clemens. And then I spent an atrocious almost 8 years on McConnell in Beeville. Oh, man, there was some tough times in Beeville. Beeville was so problematic that they did an article, and they had signal to the world that we was the most deadliest prison in the world. I'm gonna have to find that penthouse article, and if anybody, I meet guys all the time that on Facebook that serve time on McConnell unit, and of course I always pivot to the story where I was directly tied to Nagel's demise because of the inmate, and I had some contact right before that happened that led to the events that happening. But that's another story. What I'm here to talk about is a veteran that served in the United States Army from 1982 to 1988. I was fortunate enough to see my future at a young age, meaning that I already knew I was going to mess up, but I needed to stall it as long as I could. So at 17 years old, I had this epiphany that I needed to go to where there was structure, because I had the option to play football at a small junior college. But at that time, as an athlete, Dani, what we did, we made good grades. We went to football practice, but we really was probably the most baddest kids in school. Athletes. We find some time to get into some stuff, let me tell you. And we were smoking weed, and we was pretty much our best way to describe womanizers, because we were athletes, we were popular, and man, we like the rooster, you know what I'm saying? That's what we were. We were roosters.
Okay, yeah, good analogy.
Right. And so what I saw as this rooster, that it wasn't going to be a good fit for me to go to college, to a small junior college, because I saw me doing the same thing I'm doing in high school. I'm doing the sports thing, but when we ain't playing sports, we smoking weed, we want to party, and we we doing our rooster thing, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't see really any promise in that. So when the military came into the classroom and the recruiter gave that great pitch about, you know, be all you can be and all that, for me that was an escape around all that negative behavior. So what I did is I was the first one to raise my hand. Hey, I'll go. And I joined, and Dani, when I joined, I had such an influence in my peer group, peer circle. I convinced 3 other people to go in with me, because the military, the recruiter said, if you find me 3 more people to go in with you, Dani, we're going to promote you before you even spend 1 day in the military. So I was able to convince 3 other people. And so that's how I started. And so what I try to do is, for you guys that are locked up, you heard me name some of the units I was on. Been on several more besides that one, Garza East. I even went to Cal when the 3rd time I got out. I went through the Gateway program, which was life changing. Being in the military and going to prison, it's a lot of similarities, a lot of things that are the same. So when you get to prison and you've been to the military, you with a bunch of guys, you wear a uniform. They got sergeants, lieutenants, captains. You have a chow hall. So a lot of that made it easy for me to conform to prison life, which was probably not good, because that's probably why I kept going back, because it challenged me, but not in a way that it put fear in me. What I realize now, guys, in hindsight, the reason why I kept self-sabotaging my life in the addiction is I didn't struggle with failing out here. I struggled when I was striving and I was successful and things were going great. For some reason, subconsciously, Dan, a lot of times I would sabotage my own success. Why? Maybe because something about struggling and starting over and proving to people that I could do it. I think I got caught up with that as a driving force in my life. I'm a seasoned professional start overer. I'm so good at starting over that the VA hired me as a mental health peer specialist. And the qualifications for the job was, how many times have you failed, Dani, to get it right? So I had to have a mental health diagnosis and a history of substance abuse to work at the VA as a mental health peer specialist. So all these cricket lines in my life was a prerequisite, a prelude, me getting the job that I have today at the VA. I've been there 2 years. A lot of irony in that. But I always say God turned my wounds into wisdom and purpose. I learned a lot while I was in prison. The most I learned about in prison was not about life, not about my mama, not about my kids, not about society. What I learned a lot about by being a prisoner is who I was and who I wasn't. I wrote something down recently, guys, because sometimes when I get these epiphanies, I write things down. I write them down, I date them, time. So when I look back on it, I remember where I was when I got this epiphany. And I wrote down just the other day, I overvalue myself. And what does that mean? That means even though I do community service and I see myself as doing good things, I put a lot of value on that. But what I realize is not everybody does. And what it made me realize is I think I'm really doing good, but a lot of people really just don't give a damn. They're not vested in that I've overcome addiction, that in February I said at 20 years of sobriety, that even though I went to prison 3 times, I hadn't went back for the 4th time. I work in prison ministry. I come here to do this. I'm active and doing all these things. I put some value on that. But just the other day, I realized I have overvalued who I am. And that was humbling. It didn't make me feel less valuable, but it made me realize it's good that I see myself like that. But where I get misguided is if I want to do it because I want other people to value me. So I got to check my motives and my intentions. Are you doing all this work, Dani, so people can see value in you? Or are you doing all this work because it's helping you stay clean and sober and be more available to your family and to the community, to be able to serve, to be effective when you talk to people, that you're not just someone that talk to talk, that your life is bigger than your rhetoric, your rants. And so being here, and they don't give me a lot of time, but guys, my goal, I'm gonna put it out, make your vision plain, write it down. Hopefully one day I'll have the courage to take some of those mics and all that stuff I bought, the podcast that I bought like 2-3 years ago that's in my closet, and I actually take that stuff out the box and plug it into something and create a podcast to be able to talk more about my experience in the military and how that I see that when I got out of the military and got out of prison, I faced the same fears, the same obstacles that I got out of prison. When I got out of the military, I had all these expectations that all these great things were going to happen for me. They didn't. Same thing when I got out of prison. I thought second chances, all these opportunities, I done served my time, and it didn't happen. So in both instances, when my expectations weren't met, it was a setup for resentments. And how do I deal with resentments? I self-medicated. The substance abuse led to criminal activity. Crime left me in the back of a police car. But the good thing about being in a police car for me, every time they put them handcuffs on me, I started remembering scriptures. and I start remembering songs that I sung in Vacation Bible School. Yes, Jesus, love me. Yes, Jesus. Them handcuffs have some miraculous power.
You ain't lying.
They always transform. I would always get clean and sober when they put them handcuffs on me. And the first day they put me in the cell, I started doing push-ups. Exercising. It's amazing how jail, prison, and handcuffs gave me clarity. But I had to figure out, how can I get that same thinking without the handcuffs in prison? I finally figured out. And this is it, and I'm about to close. I was in prison, and I always get these epiphanies and these visions. When you're clean and sober, you can get a lot of those. You can actually hear from God if you're not smoking and drinking. You actually can open up your spirit to hear. It's not like a voice like you hear now. It's just a consciousness.
I was about to say, because I've heard voices when I was drinking.
No, that's
Ray
something different.
What
Yeah.
was his name? Ray?
Yeah. I used to get my medicine from Dr. Ray.
Dr. Ray at the corner.
No, I didn't get I just had a tell story. I didn't get my drugs from the VA. I got them from my Dr. Ray. He wasn't a medical doctor, but he had a whole lot of drugs. So let me give you this, guys, before I run out of time, because I'm here every month. But the most transformational thing that happened to me in my life when I was in prison, when I realized that I didn't need to get out of prison, I had this simple prayer that said, "Dear Lord, I don't want to get out. I want to stay out. Dum, dum, dum. I don't want to get out. I want to stay out." So it was just that simple. So if you're looking for some hope and you're looking for some direction and you're spiritual and you're trying and you go to church every Sunday and all that is good. But just keep it simple and just say, "Dear God, I know you love me. I don't want to get out of prison. I want to stay out." Because the worst thing could happen to me is they parole me, I get out, I start doing good, gain the confidence of my family and my friends, just to come back to prison because I couldn't handle the success.
Now, can you tell them where to write to you at?
So, guys, I'm gonna ask you guys to write me at 2019 Crawford Street, Houston, Texas 77002. That happens to be St. John's downtown, where I operate a reentry ministry called Path of Freedom. Now, Path of Freedom is a faith-based support group set up kind of like AA and NA, where we have these change talks conversations on Thursdays from 5:30 to 7. We talk about how change is important and why we need to keep this conversation going about why we don't want to return back to jail and prison. My name is Dani Sneed, Sneed, 2019 Crawford Street. That's Houston, Texas 77002. Love you guys, man. And hey, don't ever think that you will get over eating noodles. Because I had some the other day with some corn chips. And they still my go-to when I don't want to cook and have a big meal. I just go straight to some
Noodles, ramen. Yeah. Love me some ramen. Well, thank you. Thank you, Dani. We appreciate you being on. And now, as a reminder, we have Brittany Robertson And again, it's the song Evolution, performed by Sunstone, produced by Cinema Beats.
Hey guys, it's Brittany Robertson with Texas Prison Reform. I wanted to pop in, thanks to the prison show for giving me the opportunity to get video into the unit and not just my voice. I hope that there's more opportunity in August. We will be hosting a Prisoners Justice Day event in Houston. Oddly enough, it's near the prison show studio, and I'll be arriving a few days early, so I hope to be able to see you guys then as well. But for now, we wanted to kind of go over the Prisoners Justice Day event. We will be bringing in artists from Tennessee. Change Music will be flying in to perform for all the attendees. It's also going to have booths set up, so we want advocacy organizations to come out and to network, meet Change Music, talk to them about their history, listen to some really good music, and just kind of get a little bit more in touch with what's going on in our different areas of specialty. A lot of the advocacy organizations could better support each other, and I think this event will be crucial to getting the Texas advocates together and helping us knock out some of these goals. Aside from that, yesterday was the Texas Board of Criminal Justice public comment. I feel the comments went really well. The board seemed open and receptive to hearing our feedback. They also, they were very gracious in being sure everybody was able to say what they needed to say and to finish their points. Some being allowed to go over the 3 minutes just because they were so insightful and knowledgeable on these topics. The overall environment of the meeting seemed a little bit different this time. There was less anger, even though there's been more loss. The other thing I wanted to speak about was a little surprise that I've had in the works for you guys for about 2 years for my Texas Prison Reform team members. My other areas of passion are most certainly music, and one thing since the emergence of the tablets that the incarcerated individuals in restrictive housing and the TDCJ have been asking for is music. So I wanted to be able to get music to you one way or another. So as I had spoken at the Texas Board of Criminal Justice, I did bring up the tablets along with a lot of other stuff I needed to speak on. But the plan was to get in touch with a few artists and share the material that my team members have sent to me for the artists to review. And in reviewing that, I had asked them to write a song based on what speaks to them out of the material. If we want music for the restrictive housing population, I thought it'd be fitting that they write it themselves. In the sense of sharing their emotions, their struggles, their inspirations, their hopes, their downfalls, their rises. The ability of people to join together was displayed to me 4 years ago inside the units from the incarcerated. You know, anybody from people labeled as STG, the security threat groups, to people attending grad, to life ministers out in general population. There's an amazing amount of potential inside of the units. But one thing that angered me the most was not seeing past the label of potential threat. And to feel that a population was so neglected in an effort, I wanted to do something that would lead the Texas Department of Criminal Justice out of solitary itself. So the idea is, along with this song, we'll be doing 12 others, and those songs will eventually put for purchase on the tablets. This will allow other incarcerated people throughout the nation to help support the cause of ending indefinite solitary confinement in Texas. We are currently getting some other artists together. We have the support of Inner City Sound, based in Wisconsin, where I hail from. And we will be working with their artists, many of them previously incarcerated. It's a very grassroots organization. This past winter, I've watched them gather winter clothing and distribute it out to the community that needs it the most. Aside from that, we are working with artists from all over the globe. The second song we are having done is going to be from Ross Burns, who is from Canada. We previewed one of his other songs on Real Vita, and he is very much looking forward to reading everything and getting to work as soon as possible on it. I'll be giving him material that I have set up as soon as I arrive back in Wisconsin. For now, I want to introduce you guys to the artist Sunstone and his song Evolution.
I hope you're ready for a revolution. It's gonna come our way. We'll be ready for the restitution. We gon' have our day with a real push for our resolution. We got something to say, yeah. What they fear West is our evolution. We're not going away. You don't know the strain or the effort it takes to stay sane, and I had to do our best to maintain the pressure. All the restless days remain measured in weight from pain setting our brains, it ain't pleasure. So we self-medicate and we get stuck in a rotating door of a place that just sweeps up under the rug whatever's messed up, and then hopes nobody will see it except us. It can drive you to the brink of insanity in a home with no windows, thinking of family, so we lose our minds alone, sinking or barely afloat. It's due time that it's sinking in clearly. You can mislabel us a threat, all cause of our style, thinking we some pit bulls, probably cause you part child. But you'll be out of luck bringing us our child. Watch out, people on our side, they gon' march now. I hope you're ready for a revolution. It's gon' come our way. We'll be ready for the restitution. We gon' have our day with a real push for our resolution. We got something to say, yeah. What they fear West is our evolution. We're not going away. We the people who call forth the people in charge. We at large see the evil and fraud. Be it God, only judgment is equal as y'all, with each false accusation being peacefully solved. See it odds, you won't see it the same. Seems off being wrong and you see it okay. We can tell you're only gonna wanna sweep it away. Now you're gonna hear on something we've been needing to say. We don't need to see your face in all the sinister glares. Yeah, they can fill your shoes, but you could never last a minute in theirs. I understand the mental prison you just went and prepared for people who were innocent. Yeah, you just didn't care for technicalities. Forget formalities. I bet that don't affect your paycheck or salaries. Right? We're speaking up for those unable to fight, who pray for the light, and we'll be turning tables tonight. Come on. I hope you're ready for a revolution. It's gon' come our way. We'll be ready for the restitution. We gon' have our day with a real push for our resolution. We got something to say, yeah. What they fear West is our evolution. We're not going away. We've seen it all, and it's crystal clear. We know they're only gonna try to make it disappear. So listen here, we gotta rise for the people failed, because behind closed doors where the evil's real. No, we ain't gonna wait around till the time's up, and we ain't gonna watch our loved ones die stuck. So throw a fist up in the sky, we gon' rise up. Yeah, throw a fist up in the sky, we gon' rise up. I hope you're ready for a revolution. It's gon' come our way. We'll be ready for the restitution. We gon' have our day with a real push for our resolution. We got something to say, yeah. What they fear West is our evolution. We're not going away.
Wow, that was incredible.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, and Dani Sneed said that was pretty good. Yeah, it was.
I forgot to take my headphones off.
Yeah, he was behind here. He left his headphones on. You know what, y'all? Congratulations. That was awesome, Brittany. Thank you. And thanks to everyone who participated in making that song. It's great. We absolutely love it. All right, now let's get to Alli. Alli's with Death Penalty Action, and she's... there we go. Hey, Alli.
Hey, Dani. How are you guys?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Doing all right. It's been a crazy, I would say it's been a crazy week, but it's been a crazy many weeks, many months. It's just an insane time to be around right now, especially for issues that we're all connected to. So, of course, we saw the execution that happened on Wednesday, Mendoza. Actually, let me backtrack a little bit. I'm Alli Sullivan. I'm the communications coordinator for Death Penalty Action. I'm glad to be with you guys tonight. So we saw the execution of Moises Mendoza on Wednesday there in Texas, and then the following day, Alabama executed James Osgood. Both of those cases raised a bunch of issues that we see in death penalty cases consistently. Issues of brain damage, childhood abuse, horrific childhood abuse, a legal system that will bend over backwards to secure a death sentence no matter the circumstances. And they just highlight the absolute need for us to abolish the death penalty. I think it's becoming more and more clear as time goes on that the system is so incredibly problematic. We have 5 executions coming up in May currently. It's going to be a pretty busy month. Since February, well, I guess January, we've really been seeing an uptick in executions around the country. Part of that is related to what's going on in the federal government right now. The first individual who's scheduled for execution on May 1st is a Gulf War veteran, Jeffrey Hutchinson, in Florida. And today he was denied by the Florida Supreme Court for a stay of execution, but a evidentiary hearing was held at Bradford County Circuit Court to explore his competency to be executed. He suffers from Gulf War syndrome and PTSD, which caused him to develop a delusional disorder, which makes him believe that he did not commit the crime that he's convicted of. And so he firmly believes that he's innocent. His family believes that he's innocent, but he's not innocent. And he does not totally understand why he's being executed next week. And he suffers from paranoia and a whole host of other mental health things. And so that's what's happening on May 1st. It's really concerning that we, again, have a veteran who sacrificed so much to fight for our country being chewed up and spit out by the state again. And it is disturbing every time there's an execution in which somebody suffers from PTSD or mental health issues, but it's especially frustrating and just really heartbreaking that it is somebody who has fought for our country facing execution. So we have not yet heard the results of the competency hearing. That competency hearing took place today. We'll see what comes of that. We also have another execution in Florida about 2 weeks later on May 15th of Glenn Rogers. He is yet another individual that was repeatedly failed by the very systems that are supposed to protect the most vulnerable people among us. He endured unspeakable abuse, sexual violence, trafficking, all during his most critical years of brain development. It is no surprise that people that experience such things go on to commit a crime that results in them ending up on death row. We see it all the time, and it is just heartbreaking. The murder that he committed did not have to happen, and if we had the adequate protections and social safety nets in place, perhaps the murder that he committed never would have happened. Instead, 2 murders are now going to happen, one that he committed and then the murder of himself. Of course, we have Matthew Johnson there in Texas on the 20th. I don't want to say too much about the crime. It was a pretty horrendous crime, but we should not be mirroring the violence that we say that we want to rid the country of and rid the world of. We can hold Matthew accountable well without killing him. We do that in a majority of murder cases. Indiana's popping back on the map a couple days later on May 20th with Richie. He was convicted of killing a police officer in 2000. Like a lot of people that end up on death row, he suffers from fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, and he was exposed to lead as a child. He was also only 20 years old at the time of the crime, which raises questions about brain development. We know that brain development does not cease until early to mid 20s, and so can these people be culpable in these crimes under the age of about 25 than if they were over that age? And we don't believe that's the case. Also, Indiana hadn't executed anybody in about 15 years, and last December they popped back in and resumed executions when they killed Joseph Corcoran. So that's another troubling trend of states popping back in that haven't executed in a long time, and they are now being supported with resources and other things to be able to resume executions. A similar thing is happening in Tennessee. Tennessee hasn't executed any, I think, since 2020 or 2019. It's been 5 or 6 years. And the next guy that's up in Tennessee, they actually scheduled 4 dates, requested another 5. The other 5 have not been set yet, and of the original 4 dates that have been set, 1 has already been stopped. But the first guy in line on May 22nd, Oscar Smith, he was convicted of killing his estranged wife and her children in the late 80s, but he's always maintained his innocence. In fact, on the murder weapon that was found, so they found DNA evidence on that murder weapon, which could not be matched to Oscar. And his attorneys have reason to believe that using our current technology, they could identify that unknown contributor. Additionally, in Tennessee, the guys on the row have invited Governor Lee to come visit them and to come pray with them. As somebody who professes to be of faith, they wanted to bring him on the row to pray with them, and that still has not happened. That has been an ask for a number of years at this point. I firmly believe that if these governors, if these judges, if these people that are making decisions about life and death for the folks on the row actually went to visit them, got to know them, prayed with them, I think these outcomes would be very different than what they are now. Coming back to Texas, of course, we know today, I'm not sure if you've mentioned it already, but today is the 3-year anniversary of the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals issuing a stay of execution for Melissa Lucio. You guys in Texas are very familiar with her case. She was convicted of killing her 2-year-old daughter, Mariah. And that we know that crime did not happen, and it was an accidental fall that led to Mariah's death. So 3 years ago, after a pretty robust media campaign, tremendous efforts by her legal team, and several Texas state legislators that came to visit her and started advocating for her, the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals stopped her execution. Last year, the district attorney of Cameron County worked with Melissa's legal team to draft an order that would vacate her conviction and her death sentence. However, that must be affirmed by the Court of Criminal Appeals, and as of today, we are still waiting. It's been 3 years. There's absolutely no reason to keep Melissa still locked up for something that she didn't do. So we are still hoping and praying every single day that the Court of Criminal Appeals will release their decision to free her. Something else that's been going on, and I mean, many of us have heard about it, is the case of Luigi Mangione, who has been charged with murder as an act of terrorism for murdering Brian Thompson, United Healthcare executive, back in December. A couple of weeks ago, we learned that Attorney General Pam Bondi ordered prosecutors to try to get a death sentence for Luigi Mangione, to pursue a death sentence for him. He pled not guilty today to those charges, and we know that this is nothing more than a hypocritical political stunt. The federal government and state governments around the country pretend to care about public safety. They purport to care about justice for the victims, and we know that the death penalty will not support either of those two objectives. This is another example that we have seen in the death penalty, this is a pattern that has been going on for a long time, that the criminal legal system and the death penalty system value certain lives more than other lives. The same day that we learned that Attorney General Pam Bondi ordered prosecutors to pursue a death sentence for Luigi, we got news that the case of the individual who shot up the Walmart in El Paso a couple years ago, he was convicted of killing 23 individuals and injuring 22 others. He was appropriately sentenced without the death penalty. Meanwhile, the federal government is pursuing the death penalty for an individual who they believe killed one wealthy healthcare executive. I don't want to underscore the murder of Brian Thompson. Murder's never okay. But certainly the lives of the 23 people killed in a racially motivated attack in El Paso do not matter less than the one healthcare executive that is involved in this case. We have a petition for Luigi to call for the federal government to pursue alternative punishments for him. The death penalty is never okay. It's certainly not okay for our government, who is supposed to set an example for our society, to respond with violence that is just as bad, if not worse. As far as what's going on around the country, we're seeing a number of pretty concerning trends right now. We're seeing efforts across the country to expand the use of the death penalty and the types of crimes that are death eligible. Up until recently, the death penalty has primarily been reserved, or has entirely been reserved, for certain kinds of murder, except if it was a crime against the state. And we're now seeing them backtrack on that. And Florida has been leading the charge, and they have passed numerous pieces of legislation to make the death penalty an option for individuals convicted of child battery and other non-murder crimes. We've seen similar legislation, I believe, in Idaho. Florida also passed a bill recently that made it mandatory for people, for undocumented immigrants who committed a capital crime, to receive a death sentence. We know that the death penalty, it's unconstitutional to apply the death penalty as a mandatory punishment for certain crimes, and especially for certain categories of offenders. And I mean, this is a pattern that with the current political climate, I wouldn't be surprised if we see more of, but it is incredibly concerning. As I mentioned earlier, there has been a huge increase in executions across the country in states that haven't executed in a considerable amount of time. There's also been a lot of efforts to change methods of execution in various states to ensure that executions can continue. Idaho made it their primary method of execution. They switched it to firing squad after having issues with lethal injection. Florida passed legislation that would allow for any method of execution that is not deemed unconstitutional by the state. And Arkansas passed a bill to make it so that their primary method of execution, or they introduced nitrogen gas executions, which we've already seen in Alabama and last month in Louisiana. And we know that those executions are incredibly problematic every time one of them has happened. And something else I just wanted to touch on, I know I'm wrapping up here in a second. We keep hearing this rhetoric of public safety by the people in our federal government as well as in state governments around the country. And they use this notion of public safety to continue to allow the death penalty to ramp up executions, to expand the death penalty, all while slashing the social programs that drive down crime. Increasing the death penalty is not going to drive down crime. It is doing nothing to make us safer, while they're simultaneously cutting programs like gun violence prevention, child care, housing. Those are what make us safer, not the death penalty. And so I just wanted
Alli,
to...
You have to
Yes.
wrap up, but can we get your address?
Hold on. Let me pull up. If you go to our website, deathpenaltyaction.org, you can sign all of our petitions. We have petitions for everybody facing execution in the United States. And if you want to write to us, you can write to us at P.O. Box 89, Ghent, New York, Ghent, 12075. or at info@deathpenaltyaction.org.
All right. Well, thank you, Alli. Thank you for being
Thank
on
you.
tonight. Hope Abe had a great vacation, and we look forward to hearing from y'all again in 2 weeks.
Sounds good. Thanks so much, Dani.
Thanks. Have a good weekend.
Yep, you too. Take care.
Bye-bye. All right. Yeah, ready.
You're listening to KPFT Houston. Support for KPFT and the Prison Show is provided by the Cohen Parole Law Team. For almost 40 years, Gary Cohen has helped to represent incarcerated individuals throughout Texas obtain parole and fight parole revocations. We protect those who have fallen short of perfection from the wrath of those who believe they have attained it. More information about Gary Cohen and his associates, Alan Bennett and Gene Anthus, can be found on their website at parolelaw.com. You may also contact them at 512-476-6201.
Are we ready? Okay. Just making sure. So this is the best part of the show. This is when we have callers. And you too can get in line to do a shout out for your loved one. 713-526-5738. Option number 2 to go live on the air. But first, let's see if we can, here's maybe we can go to Minerva on line 2. Hey, Minerva. Minerva? What did y'all do to Minerva? Did Leslie scare her? I think she scared her. All right. All right. Let's go to Captain Tom on line 1. Let's skip on over to Captain Tom. Hey, Captain Tom.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Doing spiffy. How are you?
Okay. Everybody okay up there today?
Well, David had surgery. Linda is sick. But for me, Javier, and Leslie, we are doing marvelous.
Well, that's good. I'm so glad to hear that, Dani.
How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm hanging in there.
Good. We missed you last week.
Yeah, I know. Well, we had a lot. My family, it's like, they were like ping pong balls. My son would go to the hospital, then he'd come out, Then my daughter would go to the hospital, then she'd come out. They're like ping pong balls going back and forth,
Ah, okay.
Anyway, just calling to give my shout outs to all my homeless and my incarcerated veterans. And you can donate to KPFT by going to kpft.org or call 713-526-5738 or text the word GIVE to 713-526-5738. And also you can become a sustainer and you can give to KPFT 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And Dani, I heard you had a run-in with correctional officers up there at TDC.
I sure did.
Well, I'll tell you what, darling, give them hell,
Yeah, can I call you for bail money, Captain Tom?
Oh, yeah, honey, I'll have bail money for you.
That's awesome. I'll tell Linda, too, because Linda doesn't want to be arrested. I'm just worried about bail money.
Yeah, well, you just don't get arrested either, okay?
No, it's not high on my priority list, I can tell you that.
All right. Y'all take care out there. We'll catch you next week right here at KPFT.
All right. Have a great week. Oh, man. Is Linda in there? That was quick. All right, let's get to Lydia. Hi, Lydia or Lida?
Lida, yes, ma'am.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lida.
Yes, ma'am. That's okay. I just want to give a shout out to my husband, Marcus Williams, in the Duncan unit. I just want to let him know I love him, I miss him, and I can't wait for him to get home.
All right. Well, that was quick. You have anything else you want to tell him?
Know that I miss him, and I can't wait for him to come home.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I hope you have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Now we have Caitlin.
This is a shout out for Bethel Garza and Polonsky. Hey Boo, how are you? I hope to know that I'm thinking of you and I am sending you big hugs and kisses. And yeah, that I'm sending you prayers as well. Yeah, just know that you're always in my thoughts and prayers. And I hope you're doing okay. Other than that, yeah, things here are okay. I'm here with Daytona. I was up with Buddy and he's doing good. And yeah, so all is okay here. And I want to say hello as well to Mark, Blaine, Will, Debo and Rudy. And offer you all my condolences about Mo. Okay, so send you all hugs and good night, sweet dreams and stay safe. And to everybody at the prison show, a big, big thank you for making this happen.
I love Caitlin. She's awesome. All right, now let's go to Kaliango.
Good evening to everyone on the prison show. Let me take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you who decided to sacrifice your time to oppose and protest against the court decision that was to execute or kill the death row inmates in Alabama and Texas as well. I pray to God to strengthen and bless the family of those people. I urge all of you, include myself, to remain fighting against death penalty or capital punishment due to the fact that it violates human rights and degrading of human beings. I want to send my shout out to Franklin Davis, Robinson Roberts, Lasso Peter Jr., Melissa Lucio, Lead Lodry, Abraham Bonowit, Beautiful Mom Linda, Madame Dani, David, Francis, and Peter. Have a blessed weekend.
I love the way he says Madame Dani. And Leslie's sneaking in here, and David's texting me, and I was telling him to use Notepad. But anyway, let's go to, can we skip up and go to Anne?
Hi Black Panther, here I am. I know that you have been waiting for this, so let's go. I want to thank you for all the joy, enrichment, friendship and love you bring into my life. I'm so grateful to God for leading me to you. I quickly discovered that you are unique. You have a great personality with a strong positive mindset. I admire the way you handle people and situations. I humbly admit that I can learn a lot from you. So I want to say, you'll always have me, I promise, even if the world will go against us. You'll always have me, even if distance separates us. You'll always have me, even if we don't communicate often. You'll always have me, And even if my heart is partially filled with disappointment for not being with you every day, you'll always have me. Remember that. I love you. So hold on, my love, and take care. Your water lily. Bye.
Oh, that was sweet. All right. Let's go to Eva Maria. Maybe?
Good evening. This is Eva Maria from Germany. I would like to greet my pen friend Rodolfo and everyone in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, especially those who are afraid and who may feel lonely and isolated. I have a quote for you again from Viktor Frankl, who was a German Jew who survived concentration camps. And he wrote, "We who lived in concentration camps can remember the men who walked through the huts, comforting others, giving away their last piece of bread. They may have been few in number, but they offer sufficient proof that everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's own attitude in given circumstances, to choose one's own way." God bless you. Have a nice evening, Eva Maria.
All right. Now we have Christy on line 1. Hi, Christy.
Hi.
You are on the air. Go ahead with your shout out.
Hi, I wanted to give a shout out to Victor Cruz in Tennessee Colony. I love you. I can't wait to see you. Your brothers and your dad are always talking about you, and we miss you, son.
All right. Anything else?
God bless you, and lots of hugs and kisses.
All right. Well, I know he will love it. Thank you for calling in, and I hope you have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Now we have Kiki.
Hi, this message for Rodney Reed at the Plonsky unit. Hey, Rodney, it's Kiki. I'm just calling to let you know I'm thinking of you, missing you, and loving you. I hope you're doing okay, staying strong, and everything's all right with you in there. Everything is going good out here. Me and Doug's getting ready to go to work today on Friday, so I won't be able to call you live tonight. And then we worked on Wednesday, so we've been pretty busy. Yesterday I got some good news. The NAC attack study decided to take me in, so that's great news, which will help my right eye. It'll slow down the vision loss, so I wanted to share that with you. Anyways, I am still waiting for your phone call. I'm really missing you, and I can't wait to hear your voice, so give me a call as soon as you can, okay? Always know I'm thinking of you and your mom and everything else and your family, so keep you guys all in my prayers. Love you, Rodney, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a great weekend. Thank you, Prison Show. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, Kiki. We always enjoy hearing from you. All right. Now we have Christy.
Hello, this is a shout out for my nerd over at Ellis Unit. Just want to tell him hey and how much I love him and miss him. Thank you. Bye.
Her nerd. That's awesome. I like it. I like it. He knows who he is. All right. And that was short. Very short. All right. Let's go to my most favorite mysterious person, Mysterious Mike. Mike? Yeah. Maybe?
Hello, this is Mysterious Mike doing his prison shout-outs for the prison show. Here's my shout-outs. The guys at Texas, Guy Alexander, Jamie Cuppett, Stephen Russell, Stephen McGee. Shout-out for Philip Perez. Shout-out for Matt, Thomas, Edward Rees, Adam Wilkerson. Shout-out for Oz. Tasha wants me to do a shout-out for Payday. Shout-out for Keith Money. Shout-out for Haas. Shout-out for Aaron Vasquez. Shout-out for Curtis Robertson. Shout-out for Blaine Milam. Shout-out for Bill R. Sims. Shout-out for Raymond Lee Cart. And a special shout-out, for Clarence Lee Bowman. Hopefully you're doing much better. I'd like to wish everybody a happy Arbor Day. Go out, plant a tree for somebody that you love. And also, there's the San Jacinto Battle reenactment at the San Jacinto Battleground this weekend. Feel free to go check that out. And you can continue to write to Mysterious Mike and care of David Collingsworth. And now back to the prison show. Adios.
All right. Now, how can you write?
Hello, this is Mysterious.
I didn't mean to do that.
That's Javier, and his phone's not muted. All right. So thank you, Javier. Thank you so much. You and Leslie are doing fantastic work.
I'm trying over here.
I know you are. All right. Mysterious Mike, if you want to write Mysterious Mike, maybe you want to write me or Linda, Javier. If you want to write any of us, it's 226 Chipmunk Trail, Shepherd, America. 77371, and yes, it's Shepherd, Texas, but everyone in Shepherd calls it Shepherd, America. So, including David. David now calls it Shepherd, America. All right, let's get to Crystal. She is on line 1. Hey, Crystal.
Hello. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'd like to make a shout out.
Go right ahead. You are live on the air.
Okay, I'd like to make a shout out to my cousin, Tommy Cantu from he's in Coalfield Unit. Tommy, keep your head up high, and we'll be seeing you soon. And then I have another shout out to my loved one, Terry Arnold. Keep your head up, Terry. I love you and I miss you. And he's in the Michael Unit. See you soon.
All right, Crystal, is that all you got?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
All right.
Well, thank you so much, and you have a great weekend.
You too.
Bye-bye. All right, now we have Chris, a.k.a. Buck, on line 2. Hey, Buck.
Okay, hello. Is it my turn?
It is your turn. You are on the air.
Okay.
Mysterious Mike doing his prison shout-outs for the prison show.
I'm sorry,
Here's
hold
my
on 1
shout-outs. The
second.
guys at Texas, Guy Alexander.
Sorry about that, Buck. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. This is Chris Catron, a.k.a. Buck. I'd like to give a shout-out to my cousin, Little Jimmy Catron, on Hutchins Unit. We love you, and we miss you. We're waiting on you. And also David Summers and Adam Rivas on the Hutchins Unit. Keep your head up, y'all. Stay close to God. And this will all be over one day soon. And James Fay, he's on Choice More, I believe. Anyway, keep your head up, bro. Love you. We're praying for you. And get in touch with me. And I want to thank y'all for doing what y'all do. God bless y'all.
Well, thank you so much for calling, and we hope you have a great weekend.
Yes, ma'am. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, now we have Stephanie on line 1. Hi, Stephanie.
Hey.
You are on the air.
Hey, I want to send a shout out to Dalton Collins at the All Red Unit. This is Stephanie. I love you. Give me a call. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, well, thank you. That was short and sweet. I hope you have a great weekend.
All right, you too.
Bye-bye. All right, now let's get to who we've played. Okay, Stacy. We have not played Stacy.
This is to my husband, Sporty Black at Wainwright Unit. Hey, baby love, how's the day been for you? The girls and I are doing well. I'm just off the machine placing on our recent post on all the platforms and then some. The girls are behaving. Mimi's inside, dodging the rain we got today. Yeah, it's been a nice temperature day and cloudy, but it's just another day out here missing you. Too much. Baby, remain healthy and safe. Stay focused and tough. I love you, Sporty. Mwah. Take care, my love. Mwah. I love you.
All right. Now, y'all give us a call, 713-526-5738. Option number 2. And I think, considering I have all these arms flailing in the studio, that that someone wants to do a shout out. How about you? You want to do a shout out?
Of course I do.
Let's have it.
Here's to my sugar pom-pom at the Styles unit, 9 bottom. Oh, and I want to say hi, Sally. And I think he's 9 top, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, hello. Keep y'all's head up. And that's it.
That's it.
Oh, well, what else? I'm holding it down in the studio. What?
Hey, she is. She's got these phones down pat.
I know. Those customer service skills. Okay.
Absolutely. You've got it.
I do. And anyways, y'all just keep y'all's head up. Stay prayerful.
All right. Well, thank you, Leslie.
You are so welcome, Dani.
Daddy. Okay, 713-526-5738, option number 2. And like I was saying, we were, there was a number of us at the board meeting yesterday. So a typical TDCJ board meeting is they go over some business. And they ask for funding for various projects. And they also talk about different, like for instance, they were mentioning some of the units are increasing in population while 2 were decreasing. And the first one I believe they said were decreasing was Allred and then the Styles unit. Now, I don't know in what world I'm living in, but the Styles unit is not decreasing. In fact, we were told earlier that a busload were going from Allred to the Styles unit, headed there this weekend. So not sure when, but they're headed there sometime this weekend. So, and I know 12 building has increased. It's doubled. So they've put 2 bunks in single cells. So we know anyway, I'm not going to go into the specifics of everything, but they go over business like that. They go over, the attaboys where, and some of them have worked for the agency for 45 years, and kudos to them. There's many things they go over, but there's 2 times in the year, in April typically and in August typically, that you are allowed to speak in public comments. Now, at every board meeting, you can speak if it is something on the agenda. For instance, they mentioned they were changing policy to include that visitors can take in $35 in coins and a debit card. So it wasn't or, it was and. Now, there are many units that won't allow you to take in both. But then some units have the issue of one or the other not working. For instance, at Polunsky, we went in and they were not taking any coins, only debit cards. But your debit card stopped working if you have, one of the major banks automatically typically puts a hold on it if you get all these little charges, which of course mine did. So there was that issue that they were reviewing policy. So when I got up to speak, I was able to speak not only on my comments, but on what they said. But had I been there in another session for the January, February, March meeting, and they mentioned that, I could have spoken. This is your opportunity to make your voice heard within TDCJ. Now, I'm sure every state has something like this in place, but for TDCJ, the board, you can definitely speak twice a year in public comments on anything you want. Board members can ask you questions. Obviously, you cannot get rowdy. No, there's no cursing, anything. You have to be respectful of both people's, everyone who's paying you attention. And people are writing what you're saying. They actually said you took the time out to drive over here, which it's mostly in Austin. Sometimes it's in Huntsville, but mostly in Austin. If you take the time out to drive out there, there's someone there writing down what you're saying, stopping you to ask you what they can do for you as an employee of the agency. So that is your opportunity to make your voice heard. And you can definitely do that. You can email. So if you have someone incarcerated that you want to advocate for, make sure you email. Email the warden. There is a liaison on staff at I think almost every unit, maybe not the smaller ones, but you can email the liaison. Go on to the TDCJ website, look for unit directory. Under each unit directory, there is the warden listed. There is a liaison listed if they have one. All TDCJ email addresses are first name dot last name at tdcj.texas.gov. Now, under special circumstances, there's a few that, for whatever reason, their email address is a little different, but those are few and far between. Most of them are first.last at tdcj.texas.gov. So make your voice heard there. Everything is listed on their website. So if you want, let's say you want to get in touch with the warden at the LeBlanc unit, you just go to that webpage. It lists the warden, like I said, the liaison, but it also lists the regional director. Regional director obviously takes care of units within their specific regions, and there's 6 regions in the state. Above that, you come to the deputy directors. Everyone is there because they are employees of the state of Texas. You can email them. You can call them. Let your voice be heard. But as always, be professional. In addition to that, since COVID, the Ombudsman's Office, Brian Patrick, has started a call. During COVID, it was happening much more frequently. Now it's happening every few months. But a list of advocacy groups joins Brian Patrick in the Ombudsman's Office with questions, concerns. He takes that information and he reports directly to the board. So he goes directly to them. He's there to assist us. And from my previous experience, he has definitely done a fantastic job in what he is, what he is capable of doing, put it that way. So this past week, we had a call with him that I brought up specific issues at the one unit. It was brought to my attention by multiple families that officers are killing cats. So I brought that up. I brought it up at the board meeting also. So we'll see what happens with that. And like I said earlier, I discussed with the OIG, the head of the OIG, the issues that we were having at the execution protests. What has happened in the past, now that he is, Lance Coleman is his name, now that he is head, things have changed. And he feels that the way it was done in the past, it's against the law for us to stand in the street. So, at any rate, we can no longer do that. We're working on a resolution. He will include me along with Amanda Hernandez, who is the communications director. They are usually on staff there the night of the executions. So we're hoping that things will turn out for the better and no one gets arrested. It was the gentleman that was there with the OIG. Well, we know Gloria made his face turn red because Gloria, me, Joy, there was a lady with death penalty action that also upset him very much. But we are there to protest executions, me being with the Texas Death Row Angels, and I also record it live for the prison shows so everyone can see what happens out there. And also it's for the family members, because we have to remember his family will also probably go back and watch it. His wife, Melanie, she will probably watch it. So everyone has to be very respectful, and I try to go through and delete things, but we are there at every execution. Every execution, the prison show and Texas Death Row Angels are there along with Execution Watch. And now we have a call. I want to make sure I get to that. Lydia. Hey, Lydia.
Hi, Dani. How are you?
I am doing good. How are you?
I'm good, Dani. Yeah. Well, I got to see my son yesterday, and we had a good visit. And I'm thankful. And I just want to tell Mijo that I love him very much. And that I miss him. I miss him a lot. But I want to send also my condolences. I know I emailed Melanie and the family. But I know that God gives us peace during this time. All of us. I got to see Gloria yesterday, and thank God for Gloria that she's always there also, like Linda and Dani. I'm thankful for them. And I just want to send my saludos to all the guys, to Big Will, to Eric, Blaine, to Rudy, Juan. I got to see Juan yesterday. I hadn't seen Juan in a long time. And Mark and Roderick. And I just want to tell you all that you are always thought of and in our prayers. Okay? And we just came back in, Mijo, from outside. I know I told you that we were barbecuing, and we just came inside, finished putting everything up and cleaning up all the dishes. just putting things away. But call me tomorrow. I love you and I miss you. And get some rest, puppy. Okay? Good night, guys. Good night, Dani. Good night, Linda, David. Thank you. Thank you for all you do, Dani.
Thank you, Lydia, and I hope to see you soon.
I got to see Gloria, like I said yesterday. She was my ride yesterday.
Yeah, she mentioned that she was going to pick you up.
She did. I mean, after being out there the day before, I know she was out late, and she was up and ready to pick me up early in the morning. We went out there, and she visited, and I visited, and it was good. We enjoyed the company. Good company. Yeah, and I'm thankful for each one of you. Good night, Dani.
Good night, Lydia. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right. Now, let me do a few of my shout-outs really quick. Farron, my bestie. Hey, Farron. David Davis. Larry at the Huntsville unit. Taylor Parker. Robert Solis. Britt. I'm going to get to see you soon, Britt. T. Hey, T. Hey, Big Head. Blaney. Rodrigo, Leroy, Joel White, Jay at the Win Unit. Hey, Jay. Sean Glatz, Midget Titan, of course, and Paper Cup. Travis Fletcher over in Florida. Hey, Travis. Stephen Drayton over in Tennessee, Mountain City, Tennessee. And, of course, CJ. I hope y'all are having a great, well, y'all won't get to see this for a little while, but great weekend. All right, now we have Gloria. Hey, Gloria.
Hi, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Oh, I'm exhausted, but I'm doing fine. I wanted to make a few shout-outs. The first one is to Mumia Abu Jamal in Pennsylvania. Happy birthday, Mumia. Boy, there have been some wonderful events for you this week all over the world. I think the one in Texas Sunday in Houston will probably be the last of them because your birthday was, the 24th, yesterday. But I know Mexico City had an awesome event, and I understand the students and youth that did something, I guess it was online. It was a Zoom event from Philly. I heard that was excellent, and somebody just posted a link to that, so I can't wait to watch it when I get a minute. Anyway, I hope your next birthday, Mumia, is out here in freedom, because that's where you need to be. I'm disgusted with the Pennsylvania Supreme Court playing God, but now that your state appeals are totally over, I guess you'll be heading into federal court. But anyway, happy birthday. Okay, Key, I left a message with Maxine and Aura that if they talk to you to ask you if it's okay if we use your poem you wrote about Mumia for our Sunday event. We're going to have a rally and a protest and a birthday celebration all combined Sunday afternoon. And I'm going to get somebody to read your poem. If it is not okay, you need to call somebody in your family, because I guess you can't call me. I don't know. And just tell them for me not to use it, and I won't. But hopefully it's okay. Spider, thanks for the great visit. God, was that just yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. That was fun. Tony Ford, dude, I love your hair. It is so cool. You really are looking good. Jeff Wood, let me know if your submission of Caleb to visit you has been approved. Anthony Haynes, I found out that the email I sent you did not go through. Doggone Securus. Ugh. Anyway, Anthony, thank you for your donation to the abolition movement and the Shape Center. And Deloitte wants to come visit you. I have no idea what your visitation looks like, if you can add anybody or not. But if you can, let me know. And I'll see if I can, next time I see Deloitte, if I can get him set up on Securus. And that would be good. JB, I know I don't know you, but I just wanted to tell you that, yes, I do believe in F the police. Absolutely. And I'm glad I got to meet your fiance. Amazing woman. You're very fortunate. Hello to Big Will. Ram, it was good to see you. Okay, at the Ramsey unit, I want to say hello to Nanan. I got your recent message, and I am so behind on answering people, but I will eventually catch up. And Anthony Pierce, I hear your mom is back home from the hospital. Nick Bay's mom talked to her, and boy, she's an amazing woman. But Anthony, about those boxes of legal papers, I need to know what you are going to do with them before I pick up all this stuff, because I am in the process of moving to a smaller place and I don't have a lot of room. So please let me know. And to all my other friends on death row, I'm so doggone tired I can't think of everybody right now. But hello to everybody. Condolences to all those that were friends of Moises. That was, you know, the more I read about his case, he really got screwed by lawyers over the years. It's pathetic that his own attorney called a witness that said he was going to be violent and a future danger and all this stuff. I mean, what was wrong with his defense attorney? Lord only knows. So to his family and friends, my sincere condolences. And Dani, I want to thank you and Joy for going to the prison board. Wow. I'm so disappointed I couldn't go with y'all, but it sounds like y'all got business taken care of. So,
well, we tried. I don't know. They listened to us.
Well, that's a step in the right direction.
It is. It is a step. And for all those of you listening out there, I made for Linda and I those little plastic rubbery bracelets that says no death penalty. Well, we managed to get them to each and every board member. Now, whether they wear them or not, I don't know.
Well, the next meeting I go to, I'll take them our blue or yellow bracelets that say, in the death penalty.
Yeah.
Well,
they can have an assortment, let me tell you.
Well, I guess the OIG must be keeping up with me since they now know that I think that they're a bunch of fascists.
Oh, yeah. People, I did not say that. Thank you for reminding me that the head of the OIG who just took office in January is aware of Gloria and is aware that Gloria thinks they're fascists.
I'm not sure what they acted like the other night. They could have explained things.
Well, and yes, and I did tell him that, and I said the only thing that happened was his face got redder, his nose got redder, he got angrier, and all he kept saying was, "You can't be in the middle of the street. You can't be in the middle of the street." You know, well, what?
They're blocking.
Yeah,
the street.
Yeah. I mean, it was really confrontational. They could have handled it better. And I also told him that each and every person has my email address. They know me because I email them so often. So they could have let us know because they know we're going to be there. They know.
Right.
And I damn sure know everybody has your phone number, Gloria. I know they do.
Oh, and you know what, Dani? I need to tell folks that hear my phone number and try to call me and get in touch with me from other states. I just can't deal with anything beyond Texas. I'm overwhelmed with it, with what goes on here. So I apologize. Somebody called me from, oh God, I forgot where the other day, and I wouldn't accept it. I really am overwhelmed by just dealing with Texas death row. So I apologize. And the dude in Florida, I understand something good happened to you, and I'm thrilled to hear that. But like I say, I just can't take on dealing with other prisoners in other states. Texas is too damn big.
You know, if I was independently wealthy, I would be more than happy to, you know, try to help people all over the country. But, whew, I'm not wealthy.
Yeah. Well, neither am I, and I stay busy all day, every day. I'm retired, but I put in more hours in my retirement than almost anybody I know doing stuff regarding the prison system and death row. So
it needs to change. So that's why people like us are out here. So we thank you, Gloria. We thank you very much.
Well, and thanks to you and Joy. Okay, and Linda and David and Dani, y'all have a great weekend. Sunday, I hope some of y'all can come to our event for Mumia. It's going to be at 2 o'clock at Emancipation Park. We've got some dynamic speakers. We've got some incredible poetry. We're going to have a birthday cake and cards for people to sign. Bunchy Creer, who's a Black Panther, will be speaking. Minister Muhammad. Johnny Torres, who's the nephew of Joe Campos Torres, who was murdered by HPD, has written a really touching poem for this event that he's going to do. And Nikki Llewellyn and Sister Mama Sonia are doing poetry as well. The Brown Berets are speaking. Unfortunately, Pam Perillo is not going to make it. Her health is just not doing so good. So, and I want to say hello to Brittany on the women's death row. Doggone it. You know, for so long, the women couldn't hear us, so I never thought about any shout-outs to them. But Erica, sending you my love. Brittany, or Britt Brad, as Pam calls you, sending you my love. And all of y'all. God, if I start naming people, I'll go blank. But anyway, all of these 7 women on death row. Okay, I'll stop and let somebody else talk.
All right. Thank you, Gloria.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. You know, at the board meeting yesterday, there's a gentleman named Wolf Sittler, and he brought this phenomenal paper copy of a photo or a picture that a man in solitary confinement drew. Russell, let me make sure, Kerr. He is at the Cofield unit, and he drew this, and it's about, he's been in solitary since 1991, and it just shows, it is amazing. I took a picture of it, and I put it on our Prison Show Facebook page, and the talent that some of these men and women have who are incarcerated, the talent behind those walls, it is amazing. So I wanted to give him a shout out. Also, Russell Kerr, great big shout out to you. And as a reminder, because now is the time to start scheduling visits, right? Right. Okay. So in May 3rd and 4th, they are doing pictures, or they're supposed to be doing pictures. I have a little printout of all the picture dates, and May 3rd and 4th is the next weekend. So that's next weekend for photos. Unless you're certain prisons who just don't do photos anymore, like the Styles unit. And yes, I brought that up too. So, just to put your calendar, make your calendar, June 7th and 8th is after May 3rd and 4th. June 7th and 8th is the next time for pictures. And July 5th and 6th. So we're going into a weekend after July 4th. That's on a Friday. Woohoo! July 4th on a Friday. That'll be nice. So next weekend, photos taken, unless you're the Styles unit, then they just don't care. All right. And let's see what else we've got. We've got so much going on in the prison system, and you know, like I said, you can bring up anything to the board. We have one woman from the Allred unit, and she came and spoke about her loved one there at that unit and called out a specific officer right to the board, called them out, said what they were doing. Now, of course, obviously there would be an investigation. However, we all know that through any prison system, I'm sure retaliation goes on. We all know it does. We all know it does. So when that's why when people report things to me, I typically do not use their name unless they ask me to. But okay, David just texted me. I thought I had free reign, but he uploaded a closing statement for everyone. Javier, I think it's titled David.
Hey, it's been a great show. I thank everybody for tuning in. Sorry I couldn't make it tonight. I really appreciate Javier and Leslie and Dani being there. Our prayers go out to Miss Linda. I'll be back next week. I should be okay. I won't be able to put any weight on my leg, but it should be, most of the pain will be gone, so I'll be able to go back. Man, y'all did a great job for having such a crash course. We got a lot of shout outs I'd like to make, but I don't really have time for them tonight. But Travis, you hang in there. Richard, I got your message, and Walter got your message. I'll do a little bit of research for you. Maria Pena and Tiffany Cheeks, y'all hang out and hang in there. Just keep passing the word around. A lot of people have been asking me about the show. A lot of people tuning in on the tablets, and we really appreciate y'all. Tell your cellies about it. Get them to listen in. If you guys got some advocates or something that are in your state, let us know. I was asking Walter tonight if he knew anybody from Illinois. He's needing some help up in Illinois, but you guys need to write your advocates that are local there to you. And if you got some suggestions for us, then send us those names, and we'll try and reach out and see who we can figure out also. In the meantime, Damage Control's coming up. Y'all stay tuned for DJ Chill and Skyla Dawn. And, man, have a great weekend.
All right. So clearly we played that a tad bit too early. I blame Javier. Had he known that we're supposed to anticipate these things. And no, I didn't read the schedule, David. He's telling me, do you not read the schedule? No, I didn't. I
actually have it in front of me.
Oh, but you see, Javier.
But since you told me to go ahead and play it, I was like, all right, cool, let's do it.
It's Dani's fault.
And we hear Leslie out there.
It's Dani's fault. Oops. It's Dani's fault.
Well, I saw David send me a message, so I'm like, whoop, let's get on it. The boss speaks.
Right?
We do what the boss wants. But hey, y'all, we found out that Linda's in the hospital. She was not doing good when we saw her earlier. But I'm sure if you are friends with her, definitely give her a call tomorrow. Check on her. But or call me and I will know something for sure. Like David said, it has been a great show. And when he means a crash course, yeah. Because, I should be paying more attention. I should be more, you're clearing your throat like, yeah.
Kenny, don't make me laugh.
Oh my God. So I haven't, being mechanical or anything like it is not my forte. So I haven't paid attention a lot to answering calls or anything like that. I know when they ask me to help answer phones at the office during Christmas or something, I'm usually hanging up on people. So,
She's rolling over here.
so I can hear her laughing all the way in here. And I can assure y'all do not want to be in a confined space with Leslie when she is laughing. Trust me on that. All right. So, anyway, we did a crash course for Leslie on the phones tonight.
And I'm not making googly eyes, okay?
No, she's not making googly eyes. No, that's not what I meant. So she had a crash course on the phones. She did perfect. We love it. And now Javier is giving me the David signal. The David signal. All right. So like he said, Damage Control is coming up next with Skyla Dawn and DJ Chill, which we've met. Awesome. So y'all make sure you listen. They promote us. We promote them. That's how it goes around. But hope y'all have a great weekend. And y'all stay tuned for Damage Control. Have a great weekend, guys.